Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Happy Valentine's Day, my friends. Of course, there's a Saint Valentine, in case you don't know. I'm not going to do that discussion right now, though. But I was thinking we've been doing 20 traps that people fall into, inevitably at some time in their life. And it's always nice to have a heads up that chaos may be coming, and you can pre-think of it now. But at the same time, since we do have 10 days left of those traps, I want to share one tip a day on 10 ways to love yourself. I struggle with that, but I'm getting better at loving the creation of me. You know, praise God, He created us with purpose. We're one of a kind in all the universe and all of time. And I can certainly honor that. And then, of course, just self-acceptance and everything. I've been coming a long way with that. I most certainly am. Perfectly imperfect. But I'm going to go ahead and give a trap and a tip on self-love. Let's go ahead and go with number 1 for self-love. Be kind to others, but don't forget to love yourself too. Most of us have plenty of the warm, fuzzy stuff to go around. We share it generously with friends, family members, partners, pets. But when's the last time you took the time to extend the same compassion to yourself? Try as you might, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's an old adage that rings truer than ever in our fast-paced world. And in order to be your happiest and healthiest self, you have to care for yourself first. Far from being selfish, that's a total misunderstanding that people always say. Self-care recharges our batteries, making it easier to share love and compassion with everyone else in your orbit. Win-win, right? So try to emphasize, banish negative self-talk, amp up the kindness, and fill that self-loving tank. Here are a few tried and true self-care techniques to kickstart your practice. So number 1 is do something you love every day. Do something you love every day. Got to think about that. I love prayer. I do that every day. I love something I love every day. Right now I'm loving eating right to honor my body. I certainly love spending time with all my animals. I love laughter and pretty much ensure that it's part of my day. I seem to love preparing my food and stuff because I really enjoyed doing my sprouts and microgreens today, and the magic of those microgreens going from yellow to green, as I put them in the sun and just kind of prepping my food. I'm really enjoying that. It seems to be something I do every day. Of course, I love my husband. I love hugging my husband. I love talking to my husband. There's quite a few things I love. So do something that you love every day. What does that look like for you guys? All right, you'll have to think about it and let me know in the chat. All right, but here is the 11th trap. Oh, such an important one. The trap of refusing to accept refusing to accept that things have changed. You know, the only constant in life is change. And sometimes it's just really hard to accept that. So it's been said that the only constant is change. I didn't even read that. That is hilarious. Whoever said it was right. Nothing ever remains the same. We aren't even the same person tonight that we were this morning. We've probably learned something new. We've probably forgotten something. All of the cells in our body are one day older. All the systems in our body are one day older. And when you consider that we only have so many days of life left, we're one day closer to our own death. Dang, this article ain't playing. I don't mean this to sound morbid. I mean it to sound honest. The fact is, things are going to change whether we acknowledge it or not. Things will change with or without our permission. Change will come even if we don't notice it. Change will keep on occurring even if we denounce it or rail against it. We cannot stop change. No one can. So the best we can do is to accept change. We can honestly acknowledge that things are not the same as they used to be. We aren't as young as we once were. We aren't as strong as we once were. We don't have the same energy we once did. I think those are all great generalizations, and in many ways it's true. But for some of us, certainly in my case, where I weighed way more, where I was in far worse shape, where I did not have muscles that I was actively using, I am actually far improved than in the past. But there's no doubt that time is ticking. Our interests have changed. Our friends are different. We may not live in the same house, the same town, or even the same country as we once did. So true. Not all change brings progress, but without change, there can be no progress at all. Let's say that again. Not all change brings progress, but without change, there can be no progress at all. So we should become friends with change. We should be comfortable with accepting what has changed and not complain about what is inevitable and unsoluble. Those who cannot acknowledge and accept change are living in illusion. Don't fall into the trap. Even if you aren't happy about change, at least learn to accept it as one of life's non-negotiables. You'll be better for it. Yeah, I've always struggled with change. Oh my gosh, I've just always struggled with it. I have seen the blessing and the benefit of change in many ways. But I remember even as a little girl, when I'd get my hair cut, I'd cry. I'd cry for a couple of days. I just couldn't stand the change, you know? I think it's interesting as a school teacher and just in general. As a child, I was really affected by the seasons. You know, because I'm still a teacher and a career teacher, so it's already my 26th year, and I was even teaching before that in different capacities. But, you know, there was just a sense of the anticipation and excitement of September, and then kind of the anxiety and yet blessing of the various holidays that would inevitably come from November to spring. The excitement of spring and getting ready to welcome summer, but the loss of realizing that school was going to end. Like all of these things for me, you know, all the change of shoe size to height to hand size. Like, I think because there was 11 children in my belly button family, we were all 1 year apart, we were constantly comparing and measuring and watching the change and the growth and the this and the that. And then as an adult, because my family was such a dynamic in my hometown, from having plaques on Main Street and being so well known, that even now people constantly write on social media saying that they wish they could be back at 421 Jacob Way, that they wish that they could recapture the experience of hanging out at our house and just all of those things. And I'm so grateful for the memories of it, but there is a sense of loss with change. There always is for me. So while it can be a tremendous blessing, there's no doubt that you can't ever recapture what was, right? And so I accept it, I recognize it, but I don't like it all the time. All right, thanks for letting me share, you guys. As always, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. How about that, doing something you love every day to honor yourself? And how about the trap of refusing to accept things have changed? Things have changed. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.